How you doing? My name is Steve Costanzo, executive chef and owner of Olio Restaurant. We just opened up here on 934 Hope Street in Stamford. And today I'm going to be making you a crispy sea bass over caramelized fennel and a plum tomato confit with a shrimp and saffron broth. All right, first we're going to start off with our vegetable component for the dish. We have here baby fennel. In the larger fennel, you should split it and cut out the core, but on these baby fennel, they're so tender and beautiful, you just want to kind of leave them whole. So basically what you want to do is take your fennel and you just want to cut off the stems and just the little end there, and it's basically ready to go. You can just rinse it off in some cold water if there's any dirt or anything on there, and you're ready to saute. All right, we're going to take some extra virgin olive oil. In a nice hot pan. Take our fennel, add it in. Turn down the heat to about a medium-high heat. Season with salt and pepper, kosher salt, and fresh ground pepper. And then you're going to let that go for probably about, I'm going to say 15 to 20 minutes. If you see that it's getting too caramelized too fast, you can just lower the heat. You can go slow. It's actually even better if you go a little slower. So basically that goes for a while. Right about the last 5 minutes, I'm going to hit it with a little white wine and then put it off to the side, and it's ready to go. So we do the plum tomato confit, which is basically just halved plum tomatoes with a little extra virgin olive oil, a little roasted garlic, salt and pepper. So you're just gonna wash your tomatoes. I leave the stem end right in. They're gonna go in your bowl. I have a little extra virgin olive oil with roasted garlic. Again, kosher salt, fresh cracked pepper, and just give them a toss. And they are going to go on a sheet pan with a grate, and we're going to put them cut side down, and we'll just line them all up, and we'll pour a little bit of that oil and roasted garlic over the top, and those will go into a 350-degree oven for probably about a half hour, just until they've wilted down, and you'll see the skins removing from the flesh of the tomato, and the skins will pop right off once they come out of the oven. So basically you have your sea bass fillets. We fillet them, take the pin bones out, which run right along the belly here. We leave the skin on, and I do give it a little score so that when we do saute it and get that crispy skin, it'll curl up no matter what, but if you put some slits in it, it'll tend not to curl up on you so much. Mostly for everything else in the restaurant, I use extra virgin olive oil, but when you're browning something like this and you want to get nice color on it and it's going to be a high heat, you want to just use like a canola vegetable oil so you can get a higher heat on it. And we don't want to go too much oil. Now we will season both sides liberally with kosher salt, and on the fish I use fresh cracked white pepper on all my fish dishes. I just think it goes a little better with fish. And here I have Wondra flour, which we use for the fish. It's a finer flour, doesn't cake up as much as all-purpose flour, gets a nice crispy crust on the fish, and it's beautiful. So what we'll do is we'll dredge it on both sides. Not too crazy. Shake off the excess. We'll get this in our pan. And again, you want it, when you're doing fish, you want to make sure the fish is dry, patted dry before you do this, so that it does not cake up at all. And when you go into the oil, you don't have to worry about any extra splattering. At this point in the restaurant, what I'll do is I'll take my smaller saute pan and I will put in our fennel. I won't add any olive oil or anything to this because we did saute this in oil, so we don't want to have an excess of oil in there. So we usually do about 4 or 5 pieces of baby fennel, and we will take 2 pieces of the plum tomato. Here we have our shrimp and lobster broth with saffron, which we make just about every other day here. And we're going to hit it with that just to get some heat back in this, and then we'll let that reduce down, and then we'll finish it with some whole butter. Our pan is smoking now, so we're going to take our fish and we'll tilt the pan towards us, and as we drop it in, we'll go away just so we're not getting any oil on us. At this point, I will take another saute pan. I'll put a little pan spray on the bottom of it just so the fish does not stick, and we will put that on top of the fish. Turn down the heat a little bit, and this will make it nice and flat so the skin crisps evenly, and you'll get a nice crust on there, which you'll see. While that's browning, we have our plum tomato and our fennel getting heated through. I will add a couple little tabs of butter in there to richen up the sauce a little, and I will hit it with a little parsley. Now the fish will stay flat. You'll see it's such a thin fish that it's just about almost cooking through on the one side. At this point, we'll check. I could usually tell by the edges that are getting nice and brown there. We're getting a little crust. It needs a little more on that one side, so we're going to leave it for another minute. Crank up the heat a minute. We flip it. It's just about done. Take it out of the oil. We'll throw it in the oven for about 1.5 minutes. Our sauce is reducing nicely here. Definitely hit that with a little bit of salt, not too much. A little bit of pepper. I'm going to hit it with a dash more stock because we do want a broth for this. At this point, we're ready to go. We'll take our baby fennel and make a nice bed in the bottom. We'll give you 2 of the plum tomato confit. At this point, we have a nice body to our sauce, and it's a substantial amount. That's why we use the bowl. And we will fill the bottom. At this point, we'll grab our fish. Take one piece there. Take another piece across the top. Baby arugula. And then you have our crispy bronzini over baby fennel, plum tomato confit with a shrimp and saffron broth and a little baby arugula dressed with a little olive oil, salt, and pepper on top.